So we all just recently saw the new 2.7 live stream, and it was awesome. So today, I want to talk about that and really just kind of see what exactly would I use and what should we use, what's the best thing for Yelan, and Kuki Shinobu as well. So the first thing everybody thought of when they saw Yelan was, oh, we can use Heart of Depth on her, that artifact set. And the reason why is because obviously this artifact set caters to Hydro characters with 15% Hydro bonus damage, but when it comes to the 4-piece, after watching the live stream and seeing what Yelan can actually do, it made me think. You see here from the live stream, her elemental skill is actually kind of a whole ordeal. She activates it and she has to actually run around and wrap people up in this some sort of like mysterious rope, I guess. Now with Yelan being an archer, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have normal attack and charge attack damage increased by 30%, but you only get that bonus damage after using your elemental skill. So like I mentioned, with the trailer they showed, Yelan has to go through this entire ordeal to use her skill. So her skill is not really a one and done like most characters. Xingqiu, you just hit E, and boom, there's your skill. Barbara, you hit E, you do your skill. Mona, E, boom, there's your skill. Ayaka, E. Sara, E. Fashil, Pyro Archon, E. Zhangling, even Amber for crying out loud. My point being that Yelan's skill is not like most characters' skills where you just hit E and your elemental skill is done and over with. Funny enough, Yelan's skill is much like Sayu's elemental skill in terms of length. Now of course you don't have to hold Sayu's skill down for as long as you possibly can, but my point being with Yelan you actually need to run around and tangle as many people as possible to get the best outcome out of your skill.
Yelan also has a fixed chance to reset her breakthrough state based on the number of opponents marked.
Ooh, cool. So we'd better try to mark a whole crowd of enemies to maximize the damage.
So for example, let's say I'm playing as Yelan right here, right? I pop my elemental skill, I hit all these hilly churls with my skill, and as soon as it finishes, boom, they get hit with Hydro damage. Only after all that can I actually get that 30% damage from my charge and normal attacks with a 4-piece Heart of the Depth set. Not to mention, it only lasts for 15 seconds. So the question is, would a 4-piece Heart of the Depth set work for Yelan? Yes, absolutely. But is it going to be very efficient? Well, that's when personal preference comes in. My whole point being, her elemental skill takes a long time to actually use and to get good use out of it, as opposed to someone who can just hit E and use her skill immediately, and boom, they have the 4-piece bonus. So could you use it? Yeah, you could use it, but it probably wouldn't be the most efficient on her because of the whole long elemental skill. Now to be fair, it does say after using your elemental skill. So as soon as you press E. Supposedly that doesn't necessarily mean you have to attack the enemy with your skill or apply any element, just use it. The question is, does it only proc after you use it or as soon as you hit E? But even then, what would an elemental skill count as? It's not a normal attack or a charge attack, so you wouldn't actually get the bonus damage off the skill. Now, another great option for Yelan would be the Noblesse set. Now, let's be honest, the Noblesse set is very versatile. You can pretty much use it on almost anyone. But the real discussion here is which artifact should be used when it comes to a 4-piece set. But just thought to mention, with Yelan specifically, if you were to put the artifacts on her, you would actually benefit as well because you use her Elemental Burst, which is like a lot like Xingqiu's, I believe, where you can actually hit a bunch of enemies constantly when she's off field. So she'll be having more attack damage given to other players like Yoimiya. Maybe you get some melt action going, or like Xingqiu for double Hydro, maybe even Yelan and Zhangling, Yelan and Hu Tao. Very versatile. There's all kinds of ideas you can have with that. There's not really anything specific. But you can't leave out the Emblem of Severed Fate. Obviously you could use that as well. Energy recharge is a plus, and then the elemental burst damage as well. And once again, she's off field, so you'll be applying just a crap load of Hydro, I think even faster than Xingqiu would with his rain swords, if I had to guess based off the trailer. Now Laura Post, the actual voice actor for Yelan, pointed out a lot about HP when it came to Yelan, and how if you have a bunch of different people with different elements in the team, she gets an HP boost. So assuming she scales off of HP, that's gonna make things a bit interesting when it comes to things like Emblem of Severed Fate, Noblesse, and whatnot. Noblesse is fine, Emblem is fine, honestly, either one is fine, even with an HP stat. So it'll be interesting for her to scale off of HP because it's going to make for some very interesting builds. Of course, we can still use HP on our artifacts. Now, it is a bit too early to tell. Of course, there's going to be a lot of experiments being made when she comes out. But honestly, for Yelan, I would go ahead and probably go with Emblem of Severed Fate or Noblesse. Preferably Emblem of Severed Fate because that set is just kind of insane. Now for Kuki Shinobu, I really don't have any idea. Now supposedly they talk about her being a healer. They mentioned in the live stream that she's gonna lose her health in order to give others health. Now I imagine losing her health is just sort of like a proc, like you lose your health and then other people get more health. I don't think it'd be losing her health and then her health actually gets distributed to other players. Honestly, she's going to be really fun to experiment with. Now, an electro healer is completely new to all of us, so we're all kind of thrown off guard here. Now, I feel like Kuki is going to be a lot like Jean in terms of being able to deal damage, but also healing the party at the same time. Overall, just being a great fighter slash supporter. Now, the question is with Kuki, how much of a healer is she going to be when it comes to her teammates? How much is she going to heal? And how detriment is it going to be to her own health? So Shinobu has that little electric circle going around her, which I assume is going to cause AoE electro damage at all times if it's around her. You can kind of go out there and do something like Thundering Fury or something crazy like that. But realistically speaking, if she's going to be based off of HP, or maybe not based off of HP, but she's going to be a healer, maybe something like Tenacity of the Megalith might be good for her. I don't know what it is, but Kuki Shinobu, she just has that 4-star character look. Some things I was curious about was, what if you paired Yelan with Xingqiu? Do you imagine that? You already have Xingqiu putting down a bunch of rain swords over and over again, applying a bunch of hydro damage. Imagine the rain swords going off with Yelan's ult at the exact same time. I mean, your game would break. Imagine Yelan, Fischl, Zhengling, and Xingqiu. Imagine that. You literally would never have a dull moment where you're not dealing damage. You'd be dealing damage all the time. You'd have Pyronado, you'd have Oz out, you'd have Xingqiu with the rain swords, and you have Yelan with her ult. Now, excuse my low characters, but let me just test this out here. So I would have run at this guy, throw Oz, use this, Xingqiu at the same time, and I mean, just look at everything. You're getting Electro Charge, there's some Hydro in there, there's fire, like just everything. I also wonder when it comes to freeze teams, would you replace Mona with Yelan maybe? Maybe you have a Xingqiu and a Yelan, or is that overkill? Maybe a Yoimiya with Yelan. I mean, there's so many possibilities, it's honestly going to be insane. Now, the Electro family is kind of insane. There's a lot of Electro characters, so I wonder how much potential we're going to see with Kuki Shinobu when it comes to anyone who is a C6 Kujosara. Imagine putting her C6, her 60% crit damage on Kuki Shinobu. Now Shinobu is very up close and personal. She's a sword user, so she's going to be putting out electric damage very quickly. I don't know if she has any infusion with the sword and electro, but pairing her with the C6 Kujosara is going to make Kuki Shinobu even more insane. But then again, maybe not, because she's not going to have that much damage per se, because if she's trying to be a healer, I mean, it just depends on how you build her. But generally speaking, it can make her insane. Super excited about the whole ARCHON quest they showed. You got Artaki Ito in there, Yanfei, Yelan, also Kuki Shinobu. Now with Zhao being in the chasm, that's very interesting, because Yakshas, which is what Zhao is, he's a Yaksha. A bunch of other Yakshas actually died down in the chasm. I don't know if they all died in the chasm per se, but they died at least defending the chasm from the abyss. The Electro Yaksha just died like 500 years ago, back when Kenrya events were going down. Some of them actually died fighting each other. I think the Geo one was in a fight with the Hydra one, or vice versa. So basically a lot of Zhao's, I guess you could call family? I don't know if I could say family, but his beings died down in the chasm. Maybe not down in the chasm, but once again, some were defending it, and there's a lot going on with the Yakshas down there, so it makes sense why he's down there. Somebody was also down there with green hair. I don't know if that was like Kuki's mother or Zhao's mother or what was going on. And we actually get to see the Traveler again. So we get to see our sibling, depending on who you play as, of course. And like I said before, Dainsleif is the one and only person. I feel like if there's anyone that's gonna get us to our brother or sister, it's Dainsleif. Like, Dainsleif is the one that's got us the closest so far every time. It's gonna be him. Now, I don't think there'll be any trace of him in this Archon quest. I wish there were, but I don't know. Now, to be fair, we did just get an entire Dainsleif Archon quest earlier, so I wouldn't expect him to be in this one, but then again, he very well could be. It's a lot of Abyss talk here. But if we're seeing our sibling, honestly, I can automatically just think Dainsleif. But that's about as far as it goes for me when it comes to speculation. I don't even want to think about the rest. I just want to wait till it comes out, play it, and enjoy it. But yeah, that's my excitement on the Archon quest. But that will do it for me. I was just very excited to see, you know, the 2.7 live stream, the new characters, the new content. And I was just very curious to see, what would I do? What artifacts should we use? Things like that. Which characters to put together with them. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. What are you excited for the most? Are you pulling for Yelan? Maybe waiting for Shinbou? Maybe even Shortman? I'm most definitely pulling for Yelan, that is for sure, or Yelan. And also Kuki Shinobu as well. Me, myself, I don't know if I can go for Zhao at the same time, but I want Yelan, I want Kuki Shinobu, and I also want Yelan's weapon. That's a lot to ask for though. Now, you didn't hear this from me, but just saying, if you want Yelan or Kuki Shinobu, or both, you're gonna want to go to the chasm and fight this guy a lot. Let's just say that. Like a lot. More than that, a lot. You didn't hear this from me either. You didn't hear anything, but if you want Yelan, I might go ahead and pick up some of these star content, maybe about, I don't know, like 167 of them. And for some odd reason, I don't know, I feel like you might want to take out some Fatui skirmishers as well. I don't know. They drop insignias. I don't know. I feel like Yelan would just like to have those. Perhaps some Naku weed, maybe, for someone else, possibly, maybe. I was looking at these talent books, and it looks like Guide of Prosperity. What does that mean? And I don't know if anyone caught this, but in one of the events that they showcase in a live stream, Yelan is actually a trial character. I don't know if she actually is or if it was just for the live stream, but she might actually be a trial character. So even if you don't plan to get her or you don't have enough to get her, you will get a chance to try her out in full. Bonus, set, bonus, set, bonus, 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 bonus.